Good morning to you, Daybreak I-Fiber One. Skip that text trend. It's on esports and some of the new partnerships they are making. We've got great guests in studio now for the Focus on Shelton, presented by our Community Credit Union. Morning, Spencer.
Good morning.
We've got representatives from Central Mason Fire and EMS all here today. We're talking about all sorts of things. Tim McKern, Keith Reitz, and Mike Patti and I hanging out right next to each other on the camera. I like it. That's fun, Mike. It's a good look for you here. Start calling you in maybe on a more regular basis.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got a lot of things going on. Let's start with the fun stuff, and then we'll wrap with you, Mike. Okay. And it's Oysterfest time next weekend.
Absolutely.
And Central Mason Fire EMS always has a huge showing at Oysterfest and Firehouse Chili, right?
Firehouse Chili, 3 kinds. So you've got your Code Red, which is kind of mild for Spencer, and then if you're really crazy like you are, you can do an Inferno.
Yep.
You gotta have your waiver though.
That's right. They have
to definitely have to sign a waiver to say it's okay for you to sign the waiver so you can have the Inferno. But we will follow it up with some snow cones afterwards. The last couple of years, we do about 400 bowls of chili during those 2-day events, and that's pretty awesome to do that.
So what helps this goes to Central Mason Fire and EMS, or do you send that monies that you make to somewhere else, or does that help?
I'm going to let Keith, the president, talk about
Keith, tell us a little bit
where the funds
about
are all going.
So all the money we raise goes to our Central Mason Firefighters Association, which helps with training props, and the health and wellness of our firefighters.
Okay.
To keep everybody being able to do their jobs good.
When it comes to the crews and shifts, is it all hands on deck here for Oysterfest? Everybody comes in, lends a helping hand. Who's the actual cook on these chilies?
Well, we have secret. We've had him in here before, Steve Holloway, retired battalion chief Steve Holloway and his wife. It's a secret recipe. We can't get it. We had almost a oops one time where somebody took a Facebook photo of it, of the actual recipe, and the thing got really quickly erased fairly quickly. But it's a secret recipe. He's won numerous awards out there at Oysterfest, and he puts it on. Occasionally there's a chili feed down at Bob's, and he also has won most of those events as well. So
it's hot.
I would tell you, if you're going to get there, you want to get there early, because if you show up around 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, the likelihood of one of the two of those is going to be out is pretty good. It runs pretty quick.
So again, we know Oysterfest is this upcoming next weekend out at the Port of Shelton. It's a great partnership with so many nonprofits and service organizations and groups like that. When it comes to just the outreach then from as people are waiting in line, you guys go talk with them a little bit more about what Central Mason Fire and EMS does, things like that?
Absolutely. Yep.
And then what do you do at Oysterfest? You just kind of walk around, right, Mike?
Yeah, I pretty much
I don't ever see you behind the booth or anything.
Wow. We can fix that this year. We can certainly do that.
I'm working.
No, I walk around the entire place making sure that people are safe. That's kind of my job. I do all the inspections and that. But no, it's one of the bigger venues, I think, in Mason County. You know, the fair used to be the big hit, but now Oysterfest is the main attraction of the county.
And then do you guys, because it's kind of a county-wide event, is it just y'all on site monitoring any possible situations with emergency response, or do you share that with any other?
It's actually in District 11, but we have a group effort with District 11. So together we'll have a medic unit there, and District 11 will have a fire and brush rig there as well. So it's very, very, very well monitored, both for fire and law.
And that's through the whole weekend too, even when the
right.
campers come. Oyster Funk.
Security starts Thursday, and they'll be there through the weekend through Sunday as well.
Weekend after that, out Harstein, you guys got your final. Today's pancake day.
Breakfast.
Bring you guys in.
Yeah, last pancake breakfast. But we're also going to push for some volunteerism.
Okay.
We have a need for some volunteers out here at Harstein Island, so we're going to push, and get some volunteers and hand out applications, get some folks there to explain that. We've got 2 venues for you. You can do, of course, the operational side of things, which is in Mike's arena, or you can also do what we call a CERT program. It's Community Emergency Response Teams, which are good neighborhood watch programs. And so we'll be promoting both of those events out there at that particular event as well.
What would you do on something like that? You just kind of keep your eyes peeled, or if there's a call and you're close, you respond to the scene?
Kind of. What we do, it's a phone tree. And so we the training itself is about 2 weekends, and then we do a couple training throughout the year. But it's going to train you on things like search and rescue, fire extinguisher, CPR, first aid, incident management, just some things that if you can get there ahead of us and can say, listen, I've been in my neighborhood, and the neighborhood's, here's the folks that need help, here's the folks that don't need help, here's how we can get you off of the island, off to land, and that's a huge one. Right now, Hartstein Point has a fantastic, huge 30 people CERT program, and they're definitely huge with their door-to-door stuff that they put on. So we want to do the same thing for the rest of the island and anyone else that needs it.
It's really great because the island itself is pretty remote, pretty isolated.
Yeah.
When you've got community volunteers like that who can get there, even a couple of minutes ahead of the medics and mark the driveways. Because you have some long isolated driveways, and if they can get you there and mark it before we can get there, it just makes our response that much quicker.
What's faster to get there? Is it the Union shop or the shop here in Shelton? Not Union. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Allen?
we've got a staff station right there on Pickering Road.
Okay.
And all things being equal, if everybody's in quarters, they can beat anybody else by several minutes.
Sure.
So
September's Preparedness Month. We've been talking with folks about that over the course of the month. You got some tips for us on fire safety and stuff like that.
Our big push right now is escaping the house in the event of smoke detector activations or the houses. Things that we're reading from the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association, is 71% of households have a fire escape plan, but 47% of the people actually have ever practiced it. So the kids bring home the things from school and they go, "Oh, this is very cool," and they put it up on the refrigerator, and that's where they lay. 1/3 believe they have at least 6 minutes before the fire affects their escape to get out of the house before it becomes life-threatening.
We've heard, though, that it's, at least in certain situations, maybe it's the way things are made these days, but stuff burns way faster than that, right? Isn't it like 2 minutes or something?
And that's the myth. People are saying, well, houses are being built, lightweight construction is different now, and that's the thing. But 30 years ago, the furnishings were cotton batting and heavier wood. Now it's a lot of it's petroleum based. It's the foams and the plastics. And what took 16, 17 minutes to go to flashover where everything burns in a room is now happening in 45 seconds to a minute. So if you have a 2-story house and your smoke detector goes off, if you're not up and out of your house in 45 seconds, chances are you're not going to survive a house fire.
And do you see a lot of injuries or even deaths from people trying to go in and get stuff and not coming out when they're supposed to?
We've been really lucky in Mason County where we haven't had that problem where people have gone in to get their cats or gone in to get their stuff. But every week I get a report from NFPA or from FEMA that says this week we had 25 civilian fire fatalities in residential fires.
And what is it about that? I mean, obviously you're heightened emotions and you see the fire and you're looking around and Fluffy's not with you or something, and what people go, I know the layout of my house, I probably know where the animal's hiding.
I'll see the fire.
I can get in and get out. Or?
Let's say the fire starts in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay, and they think, well, Fluffy is hiding in my bedroom, and they think, well, I can make it into my living room and down the hallway and get it and come back out. Fire, it will grow double in intensity every minute. So, but think about it. By the time you go through your front door, down your hallway, into your bedroom, find Fluffy probably hiding under your bed, pick him up, get back up. Now the smoke has come banked down, so you're standing up into the smoke. Yeah. Chances are you're probably not going to make it out of the hallway. A lot of times it's not the fire that kills you; it's the smoke that will overcome you, knock you unconscious, and that's where we'll find people is somewhere in the path of egress, finding their way out, and that's where residential sprinklers come into play. The 45 seconds to get out of the house is almost impossible when you think about waking up from a dead sleep. First, trying to figure out what that noise is. By that time, if there's a real significant fire burning in your living room or in your kitchen, that sprinkler has gone off. That 1 or 2 sprinkler heads will have activated and probably extinguished the fire.
In a little over a month, we'll be falling back, and that is another opportunity to remember to change all those batteries in your smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors as well. Here, November 3rd is the day we fall back, coming up in about a month. Wow.
Yes.
Well, keep sending us this information.
Oh, I will.
We try to report on it as much as we can to remind folks. You'll get a chance to see Central Mason Fire and EMS next weekend out at the Port of Shelton for Oysterfest. Yeah, it'll be a fun event. Good to see you guys.
It's and thanks for having us and helping us spread the word about these things. It's just we can't do it enough.
Chili feed on Oysterfest weekend, pancakes just after that on Harstein Island. Tim McKern, Keith Reitz, and Mike Patti. Good to see you guys.